everyone thinks that it's just easy. You just show a house and the house gets sold.
Like no one wants to sign contract. No one wants to pay my damn fee. Like what's going on?
But there's so much more than we are. We're counselors. We're cleaners. we're relationship experts.
I can't lie. This career has really tested my patience.
And you have to be so resilient in everything you do. Welcome to the second episode of the Real Estate Talk Pod, where we talk about everything raw and unfiltered about building a luxury real estate business from the ground up.
Yes, we're your hosts, James and Vicky, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of people have questions about, but most people are not actually honest in talking about.
Certainly. The myths and misconceptions of running a real estate business.
Yes, so...
Let's get into it.
Yes, 100%. So I guess that there's this misconception that being in luxury real estate is all about the glitz, the glam, showing these, £1 million properties and, it's instant success, instant money straight away. What has been the biggest misconception for you whilst we've been in it so far?
I mean, I think the thing about it is everyone thinks that it's just easy. You just show a house and the house gets sold.
Yeah.
But no one talks about the actual... the ins and outs
behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes, right? They just think we're selling real estate, but there's so much more than we are. We're counselors. We're cleaners. we're relationship experts.
Trust me.
We face everything. The fact of you can find a house that needs a lot of work, and then you actually need to present that in the best possible light. So all these things are so many different things that we need to face. People think it's easy money. It certainly isn't.
Fast money.
I mean, exactly, right? And I guess one of the things is about people think you get paid straight away.
Yeah.
Can we just get into that for a bit?
Let's talk about being a commission-only real estate agent.
Indeed.
And how just because you get a sale agreed and your home is under offer, the work does not stop there.
Certainly. It only just starts. Right. So when you actually agree a sale, that's when the hard work starts. You got to be speaking to the solicitors. You got to be sales progressing. You got to be making sure the buyer's moving the sale forward. The seller's also doing their bit. Yeah. You're following inquiries. You're following searches. You're following mortgage valuations. Name it. Yeah. All that is still going on. And all as that's still going on, the deal could still fall apart.
Yeah.
Right.
Personal situations happen. Something could have happened with the buyer. Personally, that means they have to pull out the deal. Same with the seller.
Yes.
So it's still very, very much not a completed sale just yet.
Indeed. And I think the thing a lot of people don't realize is when you've actually got a sale agreed to when you actually get the money in your bank account, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. What's the average in the UK again?
The average in the UK, it takes from when you say, congratulations, your sale has been, your offer has been accepted, to when you actually get the keys in your hand and your vendor gets the money in the bank account is 187 days.
Yeah, that's the average in the UK. That's, I think I'm moving to Dubai very soon. I can't be.
I'm coming with you. What are we going?
Thanks, mate. Honestly, for you to get paid, it can take anywhere between 3 to 6 months, depending on the solicitors you choose. It's so important to choose the right solicitor.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
I think you should go into some of the examples that you've been through, to be honest.
I mean, this is the thing. You can agree a sale and the buyer and the seller are happy with their purchase and their sale. And then it would then come down to the solicitor. The thing about solicitors is that they can be the bottleneck of a deal.
Yeah.
I've been in many situations where the solicitors have not been as proactive due to the fact that they've seen the sale as another file on their desk. Yeah. And effectively, with them not taking action, the sale is falling out, the deal is falling out of bed. And when a deal falls out of bed, it's literally, just to remind you, you still haven't got paid yet.
Right.
You still haven't got paid yet, right? And this is probably month 2.5 of it. And you need to ensure that you're continuously following up with the solicitor to get things done. So I can't emphasize this any louder. You need to ensure that when you're going through the sales process, the solicitors that you pick are vital to actually getting your sale completed. And if you don't have a proactive, accessible solicitor, I mean, preferably you have their mobile number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Get them on WhatsApp and everything.
Indeed, 100%. And these are the things that influence being a real estate agent,
100%,
right? You don't get paid until the completion day. So those things are quite important. Yeah. And I think that's one thing we're really good at. in terms of actually ensuring that we're efficient in that process. And at the moment, on average, we're actually getting the sale completed by 45 days.
100%,
Which is pretty good, to be honest.
And even if it does fall through, you have to have like a backup list of buyers.
Oh, yes. Oh, please,
James
go into that.
James is good at keeping his buyers on tap. Like,
listen,
just because you just don't know. You need that contingency plan just in case.
Listen, you got to treat your buyers like jewelry, right? You got to polish them. You got to make sure they're safe. You got to make sure that they've been fed. They've been watered. You know what I mean? Because the reality of it, a buyer can change. Anybody can change their mind, right? But if a buyer changes their mind on a deal, that's back to zero. So, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people think, as soon as, and also real estate agents. I think the reality is real estate agent will complete a deal going, happy days, I've got 25K coming in the bank.
Right.
But the reality of it is that you need to go back out there to get the next 25Ks.
Right.
And that's the mentality you got to have, because the deal can fall out of bed, and generally a lot of people end up spending the money before they actually get it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
They've already thought about, what car I want to buy.
Exactly.
What house I want to buy.
Exactly.
What holiday I want to go on.
Right.
And it's so important to not lose focus on the end goal. Just because you sold one property doesn't mean you can take your foot off the acceleration. You have to keep building your prospect list, building your pipeline. It's all about keeping the pipeline numbers up and keeping your KPIs correct, because a deal can fall through at any time. And then if you have taken that foot off the pedal, you've got nothing to fall back on.
No, certainly. I mean, but they say it's all champagne and just, mansions.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what it is about, Vicky?
That's probably about 10% of what it
10%?
actually is.
I mean, I don't know. I thought that's why we got into it. For Instagram and Instagram bios.
I would say showcasing homes is definitely the favorite part, the most, favorite part of my our day to day.
Yes, 100%.
But there's so much more behind, the videography, the photography. It is balancing buyer, behavior, balancing vendor behavior, and making sure everyone feels supported throughout that whole process.
No, certainly.
And just there will be times where you do have vendors that are going through personal situations that you have to deal with. You know what they're going through.
Yes.
Coach them through it to make sure that we all are aligned on the goal. And if you have to kind of take a step away from the goal for a moment to realign and get back on track, then it's all part of the process. But it's also very important to be resilient,
indeed,
patient,
yes, okay,
and have persistence.
Yes, indeed,
right?
Indeed. Okay, let's talk about patience, because I know you got a lot of patience, even with me.
You're damn right.
I understand. Gotta be patient. All part of building a strong
but,
relationship. Patience. All right, let's talk about that. So please talk about the amount of patience you have and what you have to have on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I can't lie. This career has really tested my patience. It can be from anything from door knocking 20 properties in one day and not getting one person open the door, getting 100 no's before you get one yes. Or even when you do get that one yes, you book an amazing valuation with a vendor, and they're just not ready to sign. There's been a situation where I've waited a whole year for a vendor to realise that their existing agent was not going to deliver the results that they wanted before they finally signed with myself. And it does take some people longer than others. We've had, I think my very, very first time doing an MA with you, we did an MA and the vendor signed on the spot. Yes. Actually. So
yes, indeed. I remember it very well.
Varies.
Stanmore.
Yeah, Stanmore.
Yes, indeed.
And it was a very quirky home, and it was a very exciting home to shoot. So you're going to get ups and downs. You're going to get some vendors that are just like, straight away. But there are going to be some vendors that just need that time. They just need to feel the pinch before they finally decide that you are the best agent to, deliver the results. And I did deliver the results.
Yes, indeed. So. And that's the thing, because you have to have the patience, because usually everyone thinks going to the local agent is the best way. They know the area. They're going to find my buyer, that kind of thing. But it's actually making people realize that is a very conventional approach, but it's actually outdated. Because now the way the world works and the way real estate works is that your buyer can come from anywhere. And it's just about making sure people understand that. So when you're coming in and saying you're an international real estate agent, you can get international buyers. You got social media you're doing, the innovative marketing strategy. You put a plan of action to getting things done. When people don't understand that you have to have the patience of going back and forth. You know,
100%.
you're going to get so many objections, and then you have to exactly, and you have to continuously do that. And with that patience comes resilience.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about resilience, right?
Oof, okay.
Because resilience is basically is a quality, an essential quality you need as a luxury real estate agent.
100%.
Because effectively, people are going to doubt you.
Yep.
The vendor's going to be like, why would I go with you rather than a local agent?
Yep.
You have to prove yourself. Before you get the contract signed. When you've got the contract signed, you have to prove yourself that you can actually deliver the buyers.
Yeah.
There's that whole thing about timing as well, right? You got to keep manage people's expectations, because they're like, right, listen, well, I need this sold in 6 weeks. I need it sold in 4 weeks. And we know this. We know that the market is changing. There's cost of living going on. There's mortgage rates going on. So people are facing so many different things that's influencing, the timelines of their sale, but on their decisions, right? And it's about being resilient. And you have to be so resilient in everything you do with your vendor, with your buyers. When a buyer pulls out, going out to the market to find another buyer, having reserve buyers,
It's almost like a marriage. Think about it. You can't just give up just because you're going through tough times. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you have to keep going.
Right?
Like,
exactly.
This is just for everything, man. It's push and pull.
Exactly.
All the time,
Push and compromise. That's me in the middle. All right.
100%.
You know what I mean? You get a duvet.
Exactly. You cook breakfast, I'll cook dinner.
Exactly. No, that's what it's about. So resilience is certainly a major factor in patience. And I think those are things that, as a luxury real estate agent, you need to have in abundance.
Definitely.
And that is something where a lot of people don't. I think we live in such a fast-paced world now where everyone expects everything instantly. And the reality of it doesn't work like that. And you need to manage people's expectations. People management is key. Time management is key. Energy management is key. All these things you have to really be able to embed in your process.
And then, you know what? There's nothing wrong with having tough days, down days where you're just like, I can't do this ish no more. I've had those days, guys. I can't lie. I was like crying to James, like, I can't do this no more. Like, I can't. No one wants to sign contract. No one wants to pay my damn fee. Like, what's going on?
I know. Don't worry. These shoulders are here. It's all right. It's okay.
Very wet with tears.
It's
guys.
okay. It's okay. Tomorrow there's sunshine.
I think
it's raining today, but tomorrow's sunshine, right? So
I think that's what's so important about having a support system.
Yes.
Like, this man has got me through some tough times. I can't lie, guys.
Bless, babe.
He has been such a supportive partner. And I don't think I would have got through those days if it wasn't for having, a cheerleader behind me that reminded me of how good I am. And just because you're not getting contracts signed, just because you're not getting sales agreed, does not mean that it's necessarily down to do with you.
Indeed.
You might need to fine tune some of your skills. You might need to get more experience in certain elements of your MAs or your negotiations. But ultimately, as long as you have a support system and the resilience to get through those days, and the knowledge, and you're learning and taking in everything as much as you can, you will get through it. Because, thank you, babe, for being there.
Listen, I'm blushing right here. Thanks for your kind words. I couldn't do the same without you, to be honest. So you know that, and I think that's what makes us work really well. Because we can support each other. We understand we're in the same industry and so forth as well. And also, I kind of feel there's one element to add to that with the resilience and the patience is also understanding that not everyone is for you.
100%.
Right.
Do you know what? On top of that, not everyone values value. Because what we have
I think that's powerful.
Is value.
I think that's powerful what you just said.
We are premium estate agents.
Indeed.
We do offer a premium service. And premium is not what everybody wants.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
Then you need to go to a high street agent.
Indeed.
Because they're not going to offer you a premium service. There may be some that do, but for us, we focus and we specialise in bespoke luxury real estate. So if you're not willing to pay the fee for that, then we're just not the agents for you.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, the easy analogy for that is you don't take a Rolls Royce to a VW garage.
True. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think we should just end on that. I think that's the best way to describe that, really.
100%.
But listen, thank you guys for tuning in. Another episode of Real Estate Talk pod. Stay tuned. We're going to be diving into more huge topics
Yeah.
about
Some
real
juicy
estate.
ones, guys.
Some juicy ones, some client stories, and what we've experienced. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And for myself and my lovely wife, Vicky.
Yes, I've been Vicky. He has been James. We are lovely hosts of the Real Estate Talk podcast. Subscribe and also follow us on all our socials. I'm Victorious Real Estate on all my socials, and
I'm Doherty Luxury Real Estate on my socials. And don't hesitate to be in touch.
thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Cheers. Take care.